Hello students, welcome to ABHI Law, where law is simplified. This is your professor Dr. Ambarish R Patnigere, and in our lecture series of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, this is our third video lecture which we are going to talk about the structure of the act. If you have the BAR Act, you can definitely open the BAR Act, and in that BAR Act you can see that this structure is being given. The structure of Evidence Act is as follows. There are 11 chapters, 167 sections, and these 11 chapters are divided into three parts. Part number 1 is relevancy of facts. Part number 2, how the relevant facts are to be proved. Part number 3, who must produce evidence and the manner in which the evidence needs to be produced. In part number 1, when we talk about relevancy of fact, there are two chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2, and there are these two chapters under this part. The first chapter is a preliminary chapter which introduces to the Evidence Act, and the second chapter specifically deals with the relevancy of fact. Now we will come to part 2, how the relevant facts are to be proved. This is discussed from chapter 3 to chapter 6. This consists of 4 chapters. Chapter 3 deals with the fact which need not be proved. Chapter 4 deals with oral evidence. Chapter 5 deals with documentary evidence, and chapter 6 deals with circumstantials when documentary evidence has been given preference over the oral evidence. Now we will go to part number 3. In part number 3, who must produce evidence and the manner in which the evidence needs to be produced, discussed in chapter 7 to 11. There are total 5 chapters. Chapter 7 talks about burden of proof. Chapter 8 talks about estoppel. Chapter 9 talks about witnesses. Chapter 10 talks about examination of witness, and chapter 11 talks about improper examination, admission and rejection of evidence. With this 167 sections are going to get cleared. You will know this act is very, very important, difficult to understand, but very important for practice. If you are going to be a practicing advocate, and if you don't know this act properly and the interpretation, it will be very difficult for you to practice in the court of law. Now we will just go through all the 11 chapters which are there. The first chapter is preliminary, section 1 to 4. Second chapter is relevancy of fact, chapter 5 to 55, section 5 to 55. Then chapter 3, facts which needs to be proved, section 56 to 58. Oral evidence, section 59 to 60. Documentary evidence, 61 to 90A. Exclusion of oral by documentary evidence is 91 to 100. Burden of proof, 101 to 114A. Estoppel, 115 to 117. Witnesses, 118 to 134. Examination of witness, 135 to 166. And the last section, 167, is improper admission and rejection of evidence. That is chapter 11. Chapter 11 has only one section, so 167. The longest chapter is chapter 2, the relevancy of fact, and also an important chapter which start from section 5 to 55. With this, we have covered the structure of Evidence Act. If you have liked my video, please give a like, share with others, subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Your subscription is our motivation. If you want to pass on any comments, or if you want me to share something more in this act or any other act, please send your email on abhilawcomments@gmail.com. Thank you so much.